Hi everyone, I'm Mark Mason. Thanks for purchasing my brand new DVD, Decade. May seem a funny name for a DVD, but it has actually been 10 years since I last did my other DVDs, Real World Magic. We're going to do all sorts today. You're going to have a great time. There's going to be cards, coins, silks, sponges, and I'm even going to show you my favourite floating finger ring. Well, that's a quick intro for you, so let's grab the cards, enjoy ourselves, and welcome to Decade. Okay, Paul, we're going to do a quick card trick for you here. Well, it's not really a trick, it's more of an observation test.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll be fine, though. You look fairly observant.
Sure.
Well, I don't know, but we'll give it a try. If you could name any card in the entire deck, who would it be?
Three of Hearts.
Sure? Want
Yep.
anything else?
No, that's fine.
Three of Hearts is good. What I need you to do is put me a big pole right across the Three of Hearts so you know this is your special three. It's the only one with Paul on there. And then recap the pen for me. Thank you very much. Take the card yourself and show it everybody at home so they're all happy that this really is your card. Paul, I want you to put your card on here, and it really does go on. I don't do any of that funny stuff that other magicians do. This is you, yes?
Yeah.
I'm going to put it halfway in the top half, and I want you to push it all the way in so it's level.
Like that?
Yeah, now the idea of the trick is to make your card leap out of the deck, become invisible, land in my mouth. Oh, you obviously missed it, Paul, but you did say you were fairly observant, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's get rid of your card. We don't even need it. I'm going to put it in the middle.
Right.
Now for the trick. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Do you kick a football with your right or your left foot?
Left.
Your left foot. Okay, watch. The famous two-card trick. 7 of diamonds.
Yep.
Very clearly, very slowly, I'm going to let fall to the floor and go under your left foot.
Like that?
That's excellent, and it's good to leave a piece peeking out so you know it's still there, yes?
Yeah.
Put your left hand over the top. Roughly perfect. 7 of diamonds, remember?
Yep.
Dead easy. You said you were observant. Up on top goes the 3 of diamonds. A smaller card, but a diamond. We're going to make the two change places even though one's trapped under your foot. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Don't forget it's trapped under your foot. Watch the 7 as it changes places with the 3. I'll do it again for you, Paul. You obviously missed it because up here now is the 7. Yes?
Right.
And guess what's under your foot? Take a look. Actually, Paul, keep it covered. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll make it go back again because now you understand the game. Watch, they're going to go back again. It looks just like real magic because back up here now is the 3. It's kind of strange, isn't it? Because you know what I'm thinking. Have a look. Actually, some people miss it again, Paul, but not many people miss it twice. You've got to be really dumb to miss it twice. Because now up here is the 7 and on the floor really is...
The 3.
Actually, it is the 3, but it's your sign 3 of Hearts, Paul. Thank you very much. You were excellent.
That's really good.
Quick card trick here for you, Paul. You're going to love this one.
Okay.
Because usually whenever you see a magician, they always ask you to take one out, don't they? I never do that. I just like to see people who do that a lot.
All right.
We're going to try something a bit different. We're going to do them face up. I'm going to dribble the cards and you're just going to look at any card at all. If I go a bit quick, you can tell me. All right?
Okay.
I don't mind. Just going to let them dribble. You just look at any one
Yeah,
at
I've
all.
got
Did
one.
you get one? Just one?
Yeah.
What then? Because I wasn't ready.
No, I got one.
Oh, right. It's not the Jack of clubs, is it?
Yeah, it was actually.
It was. All right. Maybe I was ready. We'll do it again. We'll do it
was
again.
good, that was good.
You like that? All right.
Yeah.
We'll do. Oh, there's you from before, Paul. You're still here. All right. Watch one more time. Watch a little dribble.
Yeah.
Did you get one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely got just one.
One.
Yeah. Not the 5 of spades, is it?
Right, yeah.
Well,
That's really
it was
good,
the 5 of
actually.
spades,
Yeah,
wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah.
We're not making this up. It really
No,
was the
no,
5.
it was the 5.
I'll do it one
It was
last
the 5.
time. I've never got it wrong ever 3 times. If I get this right again, this will be good.
This will be amazing.
All right.
It really
One quick shot. Do you want to shuffle yourself? No, that's enough of that. All right, this one last time. Get ready.
Go
ready?
on.
Just dribble. Just get one. Did you get one? Got it straight away. I never get it wrong. It's the 3 of hearts. Yes.
No.
No, it was, wasn't it? 3.
No.
Oh.
Seriously.
All right. Well, you spoilt the trick now. But it was a red card, wasn't it?
No.
On the backs.
Right.
Look, they're all red. You don't like the
Right.
trick, do you?
No.
For the first time, name the card you're only thinking of.
8 of clubs.
8. Not the 10.
No, 8.
No, seriously, it was the 10, wasn't it?
No. It
Oh.
was definitely the 8 of clubs.
There's one
Seriously,
card I
it
keep
was.
in my right pocket here.
Yep.
Shall I get it out or do you want to get it out? Look, I've got nothing else. You can take it out if you like. There's one card, the one you're thinking of, the 8 of clubs, and that is called Dribble. Okay, all we need for this trick is to borrow a finger ring. You can borrow any ring off anybody. I'm going to use Paul. I'm going to use his wedding ring. Can I borrow your ring, Paul?
Of course you
Just
can.
slip it on my middle finger. Very nice. That means we're now engaged. Hey, would you want to be engaged to Paul? Have you seen him? But I will show you a great trick using this ring. I hope you're getting a great view of that at home, because all I'm going to do at fingertips is take the ring off this finger like so. I'm going to place it on my hand. Look, nothing, just the ring. Here. Watch very carefully as I wave over the top and the ring stands up all by itself. Just there. Come on. Come on. It floats off your hand. And all the way back down again. The nice thing about this is you can show the ring all the way around and hand the ring back to anybody as soon as they come to ask for it back. The floating finger ring. Hi guys, going to show you a card trick today. Well, a little bit different. How's your shuffling skills?
Average.
Well, do something you
Like
can
that.
do and try and look professional.
Is that it? Is
That'll
that right?
do nice. Have a look through them, check they're all different.
They
all
are
different?
all different.
Give them one more shuffle in case you think I'm trying to watch something or look at something. I don't know what you're going to be thinking. When you're happy, I want you to hold the cards towards you.
Like that?
Run through them whenever you're ready and look at any card at all, all right? And just remember that card.
Okay.
How's that? That's easy, isn't it? Just look through and remember any card whatsoever.
Right, I've got
Joe, I'm going to show you a really good trick you're going to like a lot. Did you do that yet?
Yeah, I've got it, yeah.
You got to wait while I'm looking or something. You didn't do.
I've done it.
All
I'll
right.
do it again.
Listen,
but-
no, it's okay. It's the four of spades, isn't it?
Yeah, it was actually.
You see, pretty good, yeah. What I need you to do is remove the four of spades, slide it out of there for me, and pass it over to Joe, because that's going to be Joe's lucky card. I'll take these off of you because that's enough for you. From now on, you've got the non-speaking part, all right?
Great.
Can you put me a big Joe right across there? Try not to write on here. We have to borrow this, all right? Thanks a lot. I'll look away because I've seen this trick before. Oh, no, the old ones are the old ones, eh? All right, Joe, recap the pen for me. And when you're happy, and only when you're happy, show the people at home that's your card, yes? This really is Joe's card. I'm going to show you a magic trick using just this card. Are you ready? If I take this card and place it somewhere down near the bottom, while you're not looking, the card will leap out of the deck, do 3 somersaults and land in my underpants. Pretty good, yeah?
Right.
You have to get it out now. No, seriously, you don't really. I'm just kidding. Sometimes it doesn't do that.
All right.
And today's one of those days. Sometimes it just jumps to the top. But still pretty good, yeah?
Yeah, that's very good.
Sometimes I put it a bit nearer the top and help it a little. While you're not looking, it'll do 3 quick backflips and land in my mouth. Not today, I'm just saying it could do if it wanted to do. It just didn't want to do it today, because today it just jumps to the top. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, I've got more than one, but I can't have because it's got Joe's name on, yes?
Yeah.
You take the card yourself, check it's really what it is. Yes, you're happy? Okay, and place the card on yourself. It really does go on. I don't change it or switch it or do any of that funny stuff, Joe. This is still you, yes? I'm going to put it halfway in. Even when I let you put that in yourself, it'll still jump to the very top. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, push it in.
Right.
Watch this, to the very top. Snap. Or sometimes it doesn't jump to the top. It jumps into my mouth. I did tell you that before. Yeah? You have to pay a lot more attention. I'll do this one last time, because you won't believe this. It really does go in. I push it against Joe's arm, and it really does. See how it sneaks out at the back where nobody can see? That's when I squared it all the way in like this.
Right.
I do one little dribble. It does 3 spins this time, flies around the room, and jumps to the... Oh, I did tell you that sometimes it jumps in my underpants. Reach inside, Joe. Take it as long as you like. I don't know. Right, maybe not then. Look, there's one card, and one card only, really in there. It really is Joe's signed 4 of spades, and it's a souvenir. What do you mean you don't want it? You have to have it. It's only been in my... Gee, they're never happy, some people. Are you all right?
Yeah, I just want an appetizer. I've ordered. Where's the food? Where's the manager?
Man, they're never happy here, I tell you. I do all these great tricks, and all he wants is an appetizer.
I'm starving.
Okay, for this trick we need 2 people. So hence, this is what we've got, 2 people. We're going to have 2 cards selected from a regular deck, 52 all different. Ladies before gentlemen, so that'll be you, Paul. Just a little joke there, Paul.
Yeah.
All right, Joe, come on, take out anyone from the top to the bottom. Anyone at all, Paul, from the top to the bottom. It makes no difference what they are. What I do need you to do, guys, is look at your own cards,
Yep.
remember them, and show them to the people at home. Wow, multitasking, you two,
Yeah.
pretty good, eh? I'm impressed. Paul, going to cut off roughly half the deck. Put your card in for me. I'm going to give them 2 cuts and a little shuffle, thus losing your card somewhere in here.
Okay.
Agreed?
Agreed.
And now for Joe's card. Joe, about the same, roughly half. Put it in. I'm going to give them 2 cuts. And for Joe as well, one of those funny little shuffles. So her card is gone as well. Obviously, being the magician, I'm supposed to find the cards.
That would be good.
That's what I'm meant to do. Okay, dead easy. First one, dead simple, a snap of the fingers. 6 of spades, that is the first one. And I'm pretty certain that's Joe's card, so I'm going to put it there just like so. That's Joe's card. I'll give them a little shuffle. Now I'm going to find your card, Paul.
You just found it. That's my card.
No, that's Joe's card. 6, no?
No, it should be.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'll find your card. All I do is I riffle down this edge and I cut roughly about half. I do this like this, one card pops right out. It looks like the 6 of spades, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That must be yours then, because over here now is Joe's card, and that must be the Jack of Hearts. Thank you very much. All right, Paul, for this one, you're not going to select a card.
Right.
You're going to name 2 cards, and it can be absolutely any of them from the top to the bottom. Who would you like?
2 of hearts.
2 of hearts.
Yep. And ace of clubs.
Ace of or 8 of?
Ace.
Ace of clubs. I also need you to do one more thing.
Right.
I need you to sign both of them. You can put different names on. Don't put Paul and Paul. Put 2 different things.
Okay.
You're not dyslexic, are you? Because I used to be dyslexic. But I'm KO now. KO now. I will just do the trick, shall we? You sign anything you like on there, yeah?
Okay. I'll put Paul on this one.
Oh, MacDonald was dyslexic. I-E-I-E-U. I-E-I-E. I'm wasted here. Oh, that's the wife's name. I know her, Angie. She's nice. I wish she could have helped. She would have been miles better than you. So, show the camera the cards. We've got 2 cards.
Okay.
We've got a Paul, and we've got his wife, his lovely wife. He's missing his wife today. Here he is. All right, put them back there, because you're going to pick now. There's none of that magician's choice stuff. One of these cards, and it can be either of them. I won't mind which one it was at all. Either, okay,
Right.
is going to go in my pocket. Which one would you like me to put in my pocket?
Angie, the ace of clubs.
Not this one.
No.
Do you want to change or anything?
No, I don't.
Okay, we're going to put Angie in the pocket. And by the way, there's no funny stuff, no moves. It really does go in. And Paul, the one you left for you, put your hand out. I'll tell you what, no, cover it. Cover this one.
Like that?
Yeah. I'm going to make them change places from the pocket. Pretty impressive, yeah?
Yeah.
All I do is I do this. Did you like that?
Not really, no.
Angie did. Just a little joke, Paul, don't get upset. Because over here now there's a card in my pocket. I know it's hard to believe, but now Paul is over here, and you've got Angie. What a transposition.
Really good. Hi, welcome to the interview section of the tape. I thought it'd be nice to have a sit down with Mark and ask a couple of questions. I know that a lot of the performers out there are quite interested in Mark and how you started and, you know, that kind of stuff. And I think it's nice to just have a little bit of a chit chat at this point.
Sure, that's fine by me.
I mean, if you could let the people know, how did you start anyway?
Well, I didn't start that young, you know, like, for instance, you, I know, have been doing magic at a younger age than me. I started a little bit later. I saw a guy, actually, believe it or not, what I really did was I worked the game stalls and the carnival stuff.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I saw someone doing a few tricks and was a little bit intrigued. And the lady facing me who had another stall, her dad was a magician. And I used to go around to his house and he'd show me a few tricks and so on. Next thing you know, I was in the library, and as you know, I love to read. I read and read and read, and I'm not the most knowledgeable magician by a long chalk, but I've read lots and lots of stuff, and that was it really. I was hooked, you know, and 8 hours a day, sad case, you know, sat in the house. And I didn't perform for anybody, I just did this for a little bit of fun really, so it all started then.
And then you obviously you moved on and you got the shop.
Yeah, we opened the shop, and I used to get people in and out all the time, and I used to demonstrate for them, and I love demoing tricks, you know, that's my passion really. I love to demonstrate magic tricks. And a gentleman came in who a lot of people at home may well know, Joe Riding. Can you remember Joe?
Remember Joe.
And he used to come in all the time. He died, unfortunately. He was a real good friend of mine, and he asked me to cover a show for him at the Hilton Hotel one week, and I mean, literally, I said, it's not going to happen, Joe. I just do this for a little bit of fun. I'm not even that good. And he said to me, just do what you do. Do them 3 or 4 tricks you've shown me, and you'll be fine. I went off to the Hilton Hotel, and I mean, I know it sounds modest, but they loved it, you know, and that was me really hooked. And then I started to, I think you change a lot then, Paul. The tricks you've been practicing at home, your rows of aces and your 3 and you're cutting the, you realise that they're not that much good to you in the real world, and that's when you start to come up with some material really that you can use.
I think in the real world, it's your magic is a lot more simpler, isn't it? It's you simplify things for the real world. You
Absolutely, definitely. You don't need. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys at home. Technique is really important and practice is really important, but you don't really need a Hofzinser spread pass, do you? I mean, be truthful. I've performed right around the world many times with Paul. We've performed well, he's not that good, but he turns up and does something.
We'll kill him after this.
We've performed together thousands of times, and how many times have you used a Hofzinser spread pass? But it's great to have the knowledge and stuff. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing a double undercut as long as the card is back on top. Who really cares? Lay people, I think, like us more than the tricks.
Yeah, I think that's important, and you find that very quickly. If you're as you know, if people don't like you, you know about it straight away.
Immediately. People skills are the #1 skill.
Yeah, so important.
Without a trick. If they like you, you can almost do anything.
Yeah.
And I really do mean anything. If they like you, I have a saying, I say it at my lectures, if they like you, it doesn't matter what you do. And if they don't like you, it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
Because they don't like you, it didn't connect. It doesn't matter if you turn this into a bar of gold, you know, they're just going to say, well, his tricks were good, but I didn't like him much.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's important. People skills, gelling with your audience, very important.
Another thing I'd like to address is soft hands.
Oh, that's his. He knows what that is because I say it all the time.
Soft hands is very important.
It is to me.
Yeah.
It's vital to me. I have a magic shop and I get people in all the time and they come in and they ask to show me something or show Paul something or whoever. And as soon as it becomes time to do the move, the thing, the little, it doesn't matter if it's a card, a coin, a rubber band, they grip everything like super tight, you know. They'll put the card in and all of a sudden it's like major tension and they get very tight at the shoulders as well. I don't know, I'm certainly not saying I know everything, but you should be soft and relaxed and gentle and more just in the flow. I suppose really we're going back to Vernon.
Yeah.
Be natural, be yourself. He didn't say soft hands, but it's the same thing. I'm not trying to fool the camera, but if somebody here wants to say stop and this card, if I need to steal it, it's already out, Paul. Yeah. I didn't get tight, I didn't get tension in the shoulders. It's very gentle, very relaxed state, really. So, yeah, soft hands to me is something I say to all juniors when they come in and all the way through. I say, you look like you're doing something. All the time it looks like you're doing something. I don't know why it just does. And it's your body language what's giving it away. So gentle and soft is the way forward, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any way you can practice that, really. I think it's just experience.
I think, and it's being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And it's no good just saying, my mum says it's great and my Auntie Jean says it's great. Because they're not really telling you that. They're trying to be nice to you, and to be honest, they just want to watch TV and the latest movie. They don't. Try and be honest with yourself, and get that. Never grip anything too wide. Why do you have to hook? They're pieces of cardboard. Why are we gripping them? You know, just gentle and soft, and it's almost like doing a classic force, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know when it's starting to feel when it's good and when it's not good, and that soft thing.
Yeah.
Just keep practicing it.
And timing as well.
Well, timing's everything, isn't it?
Yeah, timing, like with classic force, timing's very important.
With everything, with people skills, the way you look at somebody, the way you turn, the way you act. Try and get yourself, I've got 8 to 12 minutes at a table of more interactive magic with people. I mean, I know it's a bit weird on here because it looked a bit different, but when we did the trick with you and Joe at the table, obviously there'd be 10 people there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the way I do it and the way I'll be talking to them over there while Joe's signing something, while something else is happening. There's other things going on. So that people element and skill is really important.
Yeah. What's next for you? I mean.
Oh, right, that's a hard one. I've got some more tricks in the pipeline that I'm going to be doing soon. As you know, we produce things as well. I'm spending an awful lot of time in America at the moment, so I'm trying to break into that market there.
Yeah.
Literally next, believe it or not, as we film this, I fly off to Cyprus for a few days to do some magic there, and then straight out to Hungary, and then over to Las Vegas to do their convention. I like doing the conventions. I enjoy them. You do some with me.
Yeah.
They're good fun. You
Yeah.
get to meet your friends, have a beer, do a few card tricks, and pay the mortgage that month. Because us poor people, we have to stick together, right? But you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think, but I think going back to people's skills and it's getting out there, isn't it? And you've got to get out there and do it.
It's very hard to teach that. You've got to get out there and do it. And I mean, I never tell anybody to go and do anything for nothing, but it's almost worth asking your local restaurant or somewhere if you can do a show for them, or do a few tricks for the friends, or bring some family round and friends and do. But just don't keep doing it in front of the mirror and for your mum and dad, because your mum and dad are not really an audience.
Friends are always good, you know.
Friends are not bad. Do you know who is good? Like in a pub environment and stuff, because your friends really try to.
Yeah, they'll be truthful.
Yeah,
They'll-
they try and catch you and say,
Yeah.
"Hang on a minute, it's not on the. No, it's
Yeah.
not there. It's not." So that really is what you're battling against, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that friends are good. I maybe said the wrong thing there. A dinner party or something would be good.
Barbecue.
Barbecue, anything like that, or a cookout as we call it in America. He's barbecue. He's
Barbie.
a Barbie. No, we're not in Australia, buddy.
Oh, are we?
No, we're not in Australia.
Oh, joking.
Yeah, it's 80 degrees outside. We're in England.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's 40 in the morning and 40 in the afternoon. It's always cold here.
Comedy. There's
Oh,
another one.
well,
How
I'm
do you
not-
develop comedy skills?
I'm not the world's funniest guy by a long chalk, but yeah, I always tell a few gags when I'm performing, and
Yeah.
it's kind of weird with close-up because you can almost do anything and they laugh. They just laugh at the reaction of finding the card.
Yeah.
They just laugh. You don't have to physically tell jokes, really. Like a man goes in a bar.
Yeah.
You don't need that. But I have a few silly things that you may see on the DVDs. There's certainly quite a few on Real World Magic because I put quite a few of them on there.
A lot of, when I'm doing close-up, a lot of lines I get actually come from the spectators. Have you ever
Without a
found
doubt.
that?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, half my actors come from people who are funnier than me, really. I've just nicked a few things from them and added a few things. And
I think that's
definitely.
what people will find out. If they perform often enough at tables and they perform the same trick, like with Chop Cup.
Your favourite?
All right, I do Chop Cup a lot, and people sometimes say, "You've got two balls," but before they can say that, I get in there and I go, "You think I've got two?" And that's funny. You think
That's
I've got
funny,
two
of
balls.
course, because
And that's
they don't realise they're saying you've got two balls, and so you've taken that away from them and
Yeah.
made it ammunition
Yeah.
for you, just like my sponge ball routine.
Yeah.
Without getting into jokes, the Harry Potter gag
Yeah.
that we both do
Yeah.
came from a customer, one of our strongest jokes. What you do is take that away from them and make it a part of your ammunition.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it becomes. I think when it becomes a part of you, that's important.
Yeah, and you'll find it changes a lot as well. Like the card underfoot transposition we did on this DVD.
Yeah.
That's nothing near where it all started. It all started at a totally different thing. I mean, I know you do that trick sometimes as well.
Well, we've talked about that.
It's
I've had
so
people crying
different.
From that.
Yeah, it's so different.
Just amazing.
And the comedy thing, the thing I do with the pen, where I give someone a pen and they
Yeah.
write, and then I turn back and say, "Why are you writing on there?" It's stupid, really, but it gets a good laugh, and it's not. You're not trying to do routine comedy, really. You're not a stand-up comedian. You're a close-up magician. They're very different, I think. Do you?
Yeah. But it's always nice to have a little bit of humour.
Oh,
I think if you're
without a doubt.
straight-laced at a table,
Without a doubt.
you're going to find, especially if you're working with other magicians, you're going to be wondering why all their tables are really having a good time and yours.
Well, I mean, let's be fair. Me and you make sure they have a good time.
Yeah.
There's a few of us in our little group. Andy Green's another one who works with us a lot.
Andy's a good worker.
Andy's the same. He tries to get. We're kind of high energy people, really, aren't we? And then there's Mark. Mark James
Yeah,
again.
Mark James,
same.
very good worker.
It's no good going and. This is going to get long if we're not careful. But let's be truthful now. How many people go over to a table and just perform for one person or two? That's not really the game. The game is to get everybody involved. They're out having a good time. Me and you get paid to go to parties, don't we?
Yeah.
That we're always at a party environment, a dinner award. They want to have a good time. They've had a couple of glasses of wine. They're having a bit of fun. Try and get everybody involved. Get some eye contact with the whole table. Get more than just you saying, "Aren't I clever?" Really, because otherwise it becomes, "I'm cleverer than you." Yeah. Now we've got this big no smoking thing here, which they have all in America. You know, a lot of the time the tables are half empty. You go over to do the table, they're all outside smoking. So time it properly, pick out when to do the magic, you know, and try and get everybody involved, definitely.
I think if you're a high energy performer, and people are aware you're coming over to their table, they're going to forget about going outside and they're going to, oh, he's coming over here now. It's going to be so
They can't
exciting.
wait for us to get over. You know, because we talk about this coming on from jobs, how many they're trying to catch your eye almost, going, oh, I hope he comes here.
Yeah.
Well, usually, a lot of people are thinking, oh, I hope he don't come here. I don't want to be embarrassed or made a fool of. Whereas I find when it's me and you and the other guys, they're going, oh, I hope he comes here.
Yeah.
Also, how many times I do a table and then they'll say, is your mate going to come here as well? That's because they've seen your tables having a good time. And people want... We live in a world of misery, buddy.
I know.
Everybody's killing each other, blowing each other up. Let's not go on a downer here, but people go out to have a good time.
Yeah.
So try and give them
Be the life and soul of the party.
Yeah, I'd love to bet if we could find out what the stats are that you get more rebookings and jobs off jobs where people had a good time. That must be correct. Because nearly every time I get a job or you get a job, they say, oh, I saw you at so-and-so. And I think, well, somebody must have had a good time. So, you know, try and have a good time, make it light and fun. Don't stay too long at every group.
No, that's another mistake people make, especially if they're at a table and the table reacts. And then they've got another 10 tables to do, but they're so excited this table's...
Well, they've got a strong table.
Oh, yeah.
They've got a strong table, so now they think, oh, I look great here. Now, they're not the stars anymore, you are.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
No.
You want them to be the people having a good time and you doing your job, really. But your job must never look like your job. Look at residencies and things when you go every Sunday and you think, oh, God, do I want to do this again? And that doesn't matter if you're a singer, a comedian, a juggler. There must be nights when you think, I don't really want to do this.
The show must go on.
But every show must look like your first show.
Yeah.
When I do a long lecture tour, and I'll be honest with you, I mean, with all due respect, you're on lecture number 25 and it's not that exciting anymore.
You've just driven 500 miles to
But
get
you don't
there.
want them to think, well, okay, you don't want to do this really. Yeah, they've got to go, man, he was great. You want that same email coming saying, you, best we've ever had, we loved you, we thought you were fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, actually. You do well at that. You are really good at that. Turning up, going, I'm so tired, and then all of a sudden the camera comes on you and you brighten up.
That's what we do, isn't it? It's a show, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I think what people forget is because it's 8 to 10 minutes, it's not really a show. It is a show. I've got a proper show, same as you have.
Yeah.
Same as Andy has. I mean, I've mentioned Andy a few times. He's another friend who we work with all the time. We've got a proper show. It's 8 to 10 minutes show. It ain't just us messing around.
Yeah.
You know, they've got to leave there thinking, man, I really enjoyed that. He was great, that magician. We get them to tell the client. If you enjoyed the show, tell the client.
So important.
How much work do we get off of that? If you enjoyed our magic, if you enjoyed the show, tell the client. We might even tell a small white lie and say, he's never used us before. He's a new guy. That's not strictly true always, but we want him to go over and say, them two magicians, we loved them. They were the best thing here.
And then say goodbye to the client as well.
Always. Always say goodbye, say thank you, we've really enjoyed the evening. Saying goodbye is as important as saying hello.
Of course it is.
And don't go bothering him with your problems, sort your own problems out.
Yeah, that's another thing.
He's got enough on his plate. He's not a professional showrunner usually, he's just normally a guy who's been lumbered the job of sorting out the night's entertainment.
What about, when we first always go in, we always ask them what the meal plan is.
Of course.
Is it a hot starter, cold starter?
Yeah, because, and how many people, because sometimes we have to do magic when we don't want to do magic. We've got to do it while they're eating, which isn't our favourite, but how are we going to get round it all?
Yeah,
we're not going to get round everything. We've got a time slot. There's normally a singer coming on, a speaker or something. I think the questions I always ask is there going to be any grace? So I'm not in the middle of doing tricks and then some guy does Our Father who art in heaven because you just look silly. I always ask if it's going to be a warm starter because then I try and pick the tables who haven't got the food yet. I'll go completely to the other end and work backwards. And I try and make my last table near the door.
Yeah, that's so important as well.
Well, it means you can get out of the building because it may sound big-headed, but if you've been good and they really like you, you end up doing it all again.
You've got to walk through everybody.
As you walk back through everybody, they're saying, I don't know, Sarah was at the bathroom, can you do something for Sarah? Well, you don't want to do it all again. So I try and make the last table near the door and it's good night and God bless. I've been Mark. I hope you've had a nice evening. And boom, I'm out into my car and on the way home.
I think, and just to let everybody know, the reason if you ask for a cold start, if they got a cold starter, that means you can do some magic while they're having a starter. It's not as
intimidating, is it?
Yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah.
It's not going cold.
It's not going cold.
It's cold.
I tend to step out over main course.
Yeah, I step out of a main course.
If I'm really, really pushed, I'll do one trick. Because I don't want the client to be upset and say, well, they didn't get to see anything. So if I'm really pushed, I will. But in general, I'll step out of the mains and find some tables who haven't got mains yet.
Because a lot of the time it's hard for the people as well to serve everybody at once.
Well, it's normally always staggered, isn't it? You know,
and what about when you're performing is making sure you can wrap up your tricks instantly. Food's most important, isn't it?
Well, that's what they're there for,
Yeah.
food and have a good time. You're an afterthought, really. You're just the guy turning up with cards and coins, you know. You're not the most... So all my things can be ended pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I make a little note if I miss something out. If I didn't get to do Invisible Deck, I make sure I go back and somebody... if me and you are together, I might give you a nod. You know, if you finish before me, I'll say, Paul, just do Invisible Deck or Chop Cup for them. And
we have our signals.
We have our little signals. It all means something. People think we're landing planes and things, but that means do table 6 quickly. But you know what I mean. Yeah, it's good to give the people at home a little bit of general...
Yeah, I thought they might just want to know a little bit about you.
Yeah,
and
with pleasure. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed doing magic and I have no intention of stopping. I'm going to try and keep going and build up the client base and see if we can keep putting a few dollars in the bank.
Onwards and upwards, eh?
Onwards and upwards, buddy.
Right. Thanks very much.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank
you.
you.
Buddy. All the best.
Okay, I'm going to explain genuinely one of my all-time favourite magic tricks. I use this as my opening all the time for pre-dinner and walk around. It's a wonderful trick. Uses a couple of little moves but nothing major, and it's all been built inside so that it's very simple to do. If any of you are familiar with Simon Lovell, he does a wonderful trick called Fingered. He has several versions of this, and this is kind of my adaptation of Simon's trick Fingered, even though it's gone a long way and it's using the floor and feet, and it's still based on that two things changing places. So we're going to explain the trick foot and mouth. I'm going to use the same signed 6 of hearts, but we'll talk about that in just a second, and I'm going to bring Paul back in. Come on in, Paul.
Hey.
Okay, so what I usually do here is I go over and I introduce myself to somebody. And I will actually try and find someone, if they're holding a glass, this is fine. It makes no difference because he's not going to select anything, he's just going to name any card. In this instance, we're going to use Paul's 6 of hearts, what he signed before. Okay, so Paul names any card and he says, I'll have the 6 of hearts. I give him the pen, and I am going to give him the pen, and he signs the 6. Okay. Now, usually, obviously, I wouldn't say show the camera, show the people at home. I normally say, I'll look away, show your friends, or I'll do some silly gag. And when I do that, I get a very simple break underneath the bottom card. Hope we're getting a good, nice view of this at home. I've got a break here, and it's a little finger break, and I'm going to need that in a second because I'm going to add a card to this, okay? As I say, he's pretty observant, and I say, how observant are you? And I do a few gags. He signs his name. Very simply, all I'm going to do is take hold of all the cards from above in like a biddle grip, and I'm going to cut the cards with this first finger. Okay? Hope we're getting a nice clear view of that. And I swing cut these over here, and I've still got the break here. Now it's held with the thumb. Paul puts his card on. If he puts it level, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to push this card forward using this middle finger. And I'm going to do the Charlie Miller add-on move. You're going to add this 10 onto the signed card here. Okay? Now, if it's sticking out a little, that doesn't matter. I just add it. And if it's level, I use this finger to push this forward, like so. Like this. Just going to do this again from another angle, just so the nice close-up shot can... I'm letting this one go as I push with this finger, and I'm just letting the 10, the thumb hits the back, bringing that level, and now I've added a card onto Paul's 6 of hearts. Okay, and I'm now in this position here. Alright, I immediately turn everything over and say, Paul, this really is your card. Of course, there would be a group of people here, alright, there'd be a few more people, and I'm talking to all the people. I tap this in with the first finger. Really, it is now second down. It's not on top. and I place Paul's so-called card, which is now the indifferent 10, anywhere into the top half, like this. His card is really here. It sounds more complicated than it is, but it's very straightforward. I ask Paul to push his card, but really it's not, all the way in. And I go across him, so he has to kind of look over here and away from this. Because as he does this, I'm going to pop this into my mouth. Now, you don't want to bring these cards back up here, because Paul will look.
Yeah.
Okay, too early. So when he pushes this in, I bring these cards under here. As I say, the idea of the trick is to make your card. Now, when you do this for a group, sometimes these people see it and they all laugh. It gets a great reaction. The idea of the trick is to make your card leap out of my and land in my mouth.
Yeah.
And then he looks. Everybody laughs, and I do a very, very simple top change. Very, very simple. I literally, as he laughs, I'm just going to change this card for this card. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to bring this down and do a very simple top change. So Paul's here, he laughs, and as he laughs, I just change it. As I say, okay, Paul, let's do the trick. You're not as observant as you think you are. You've now got an indifferent card, because his card is on top. This goes anywhere in the deck, as I say, Paul. We're going to get rid of your card and do the famous 2-card trick. Are you ready?
Yep.
Of course he says he's ready. At that point, I always say, are you right or left-footed? Or if we play football, would you kick your ball with your left? Or it doesn't make no difference what they say. You're going to do a double lift now, because you're going to put Paul's card under his foot, but apparently it's going to be the 8. Okay? We've got a nice clear view of it. It's going to be a double lift, all right? So as I say, which foot are you? You can either do a get ready under 2, or you can just do a very simple double like I do, and I turn over the 8. This is really 2 cards, a simple double lift. Now you're going to let this card fall to the floor, but you have to do it this way. It's very important. You're going to take your middle finger in the middle above the angel and your thumb above the angel, and you're going to let it just fall, all right? Because if you don't, it'll spin. If you try and do this, it'll do that, all right? And you don't want to do that. I'll do that again for you. If you hold it here, 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 it'll just fall and it'll spin. You don't want it to spin. Now, believe it or not, if you drop it like this, it will not do anything except float to the floor. Always does it every time. It'll just float down gently to the floor. So watch on 3, 1, 2, 3, it'll just float to the floor. All right? I asked Paul to cover this with his left foot. Now, don't forget he thinks that's the 8. But really the 8 is on top of the deck. Yes, that's really his signed card. I now do a very simple double. Oh, I've got another 8. That's just pure luck. All right? I mean, that can really happen. You can get an 8 of spades, an 8 of clubs. But we will continue on just like it was real. So he thinks the 8 of spades is under his foot. And now the 8 of clubs goes on his left hand. Really, it's totally the opposite. I then say they're going to change places. And then say, oh, now they're going to go back again, which always gets a groan. All right? But up here now I say is the 8 of spades. They automatically assume the 8 of clubs is under their foot, when really it is on top of the deck. Hope we're getting, see that okay at home? Yes? Good. I say to him, and under your foot, ladies and and he goes to bend down. As he bends down, I do a very simple, you could top change a small child. He's bent down looking at a card. I just literally change it. Yeah, I just change it back for the 8. So he thinks the 8 of clubs is under his foot. As he bends down, I say, actually, I'll tell you what I'll do. Put your foot back on, Paul. I'll make it go back again just for you. Get ready now, look, and they go back again. And now here's the 8 of clubs up on his hand. So again, he assumes now the spade is down here, but really the spade is on top. So it's very, very simple, honestly. It's really dead easy to do. I then say, take a look underneath. And as he goes to do this, I put this in my mouth. As soon as he's there, I say, actually, some people miss it again. Man, you've got to be really stupid to miss it twice. Everybody laughs and they think, man, it's changed again. But really, you're setting him up for the final thing. He takes this, he has a look here, and here is his sign card with his name on. I can now go straight into another effect, anything I want to do. Very, very easy. Sounds a little complicated, but it's not really. You're just doing 2 double lifts and a top change. But all the misdirection really is built in really nicely for this entire routine to go very, very smoothly. I hope you enjoy foot and mouth. Give it a try. I've got friends who absolutely kill with this trick. It's a wonderful routine. Thank you very much. Okay, I mean, I'm not sure if you are familiar with my stuff and what I like to do and my other DVDs, but I love Think of a Card stuff. I'm still absolutely convinced there's nothing much stronger than when somebody thinks of something or looks at something and you tell them what it is. I have 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7 methods. I'm going to show you today a couple on this DVD. The first one we're going to do is called Dribble, okay? And basically it seems ridiculous. You've just got to try this. It seems really strange, but it works on the principle that they can only see what I see. There's no special magic here. There's nothing you don't know about. What I can see, they can see. That's all it works on. And all you've got to remember is what you see. And usually it's 2 or 3 cards, clearly. All right? Don't worry if it's not, because we have an alternative ending. All right? Very, very simple. Now, it's important as well how you hold the deck for this, because now everybody's doing all these fancy things. That won't work for Dribble, because you're covering the indexes and the cards with your hand. All right? We're going back to a very, very basic, holding them from above with the finger bent in and just letting them dribble. Don't worry, we're going to get some super close-up shots of this. I'm just showing you on the long shot as well that this is the position you want to be in. You want to be about belly button high. You don't want to be down here, okay? And you don't want to be up here. It's really important for this to work. You need to be, excuse me, about this high. Cradling the deck very softly and letting them dribble into this hand, okay? Just letting them fall. Notice I don't take all of them. I take about just over half. Let them drop. So they haven't even got a choice of these. And then I let these fall. We're going to now talk about how this works and why it works and what I mean by you see what I see. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to get some nice close-ups here. The deck is mixed or shuffled by anybody. Okay, these are just cards. In fact, I quite often give them to them and say, hey, would you like to shuffle them, mix them? I now I'm turning, so I'm now facing the spectator. Imagine the spectator is here. I know the long shot is here, however, imagine that the spectator is here. I'm just going to dribble the cards. I'm not going to try and do anything at the moment. I'm just going to show you what I'm doing. I'm just dribbling the cards. You want to get a nice, even flow and let them drop. Now, sometimes a spectator will say, oh, I didn't get one. And that's fine. Just do the thing again. It's not a panic. All right, try and let them fall very evenly. All right. Now, we're going to actually try this at home. So you should now, at home, be trying to get a card. Just imagine you're my spectator now at home and you're going to look at a card, okay? And you'll see what I mean. I turn them a fraction and dip them down so that they're going to get a large flash of the indexes as they go by, okay? And I dribble them. Dribble, 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 all right? Now watch, I'm going to try, just look at a card. Was it not the 6 of spades? I just let them fall. King of hearts was very prominent then. King of hearts, 8 of diamonds. If you're getting any of these cards at home, you're actually performing dribble already without you even knowing. Because you can only see, I'm looking in the side here. The long camera, I'm looking in here. All right, you looking at the cards. Now, if they go too fast, it'll look like this and they won't get anything. So try and just do this. King of spades, queen of clubs. Okay, 9 of spades, 2 of hearts. 6 of spades, 3 of spades. 9 of spades, 10 of hearts. I mean, you can't see the cameraman, but the cameraman every time is going, yeah, that's the one. He's nodding to me saying that is the... Look how I let them fall. Ace of spades, 8 of diamonds. All right? Now, whatever I see, I know they can see. All right? So I dribble on down like so. So I say, we're going to just let the cards fall. You're going to look at any card. Now, what I see, I get rid of one immediately by saying it's not there. I'm now going to turn to the long camera again because I need to just explain something. So I'm going to turn around here and go back to the long camera as I then say it's not there, and that's very important. And even though we're on a funny angle here, I'm going to bring Paul in because I need him just to help me with something. Paul, come in about here for me.
Sure.
Paul is now looking at this angle that we just did on the close-up camera, all right? So Paul is looking, as I dribble, I look at what I can see, and the 6 of spades was very prominent then, yes? And I'm not asking you just to be nice to him, it was very prominent. So that's the one I say it's not the, I say it's not the 6 of spades, is it?
Yeah.
And he says, yeah. Now if he says no, I only saw 2 other cards, so I go for one of those 2, but we'll talk about that in a second. So don't forget, it's about waist height, dip them down so he's looking at the indexes and dribble them. Yeah, it's not the 2 of hearts, is it, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And there we go. It's not the king of spades, is it, Paul?
Yeah, but I had another one as well.
That's fine. If he's got another one, don't panic, because sometimes the other person here will go, oh my God, that was mine. Yeah, so then you get 2, which is really good. So here's what's going to happen. I shuffle the cards. I say to Paul, magicians always ask you to take one out. I never do that, and it's just a silly joke. I'm just going to ask you just to look at one. If I go a little bit too quickly, just slow me down.
Okay.
Okay, I don't mind, because some people's eyes are not as good as others. By the way, I normally don't do this with anyone with glasses in case they've got bifocals. I dribble them down, and we'll just do this as though it was real, Paul, all right?
Okay.
We're not rehearse this, just do it like you're seeing it.
Right.
Paul, I'm going to let the cards fall. Did you get a card
Yeah.
there? It's not the Queen of Spades,
Yes,
is it?
Queen of Spades.
It's amazing, isn't it?
I promise you that was the Queen of Spades.
I'll do it again because I too forgot to applaud there. But it's all right, I can wait. And I do it again. I dribble them down. This time I saw the 5 of Spades and the Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
They're the 2 that stood out to me. The one that I got the longest look at was the 5 of Spades.
Yeah.
So I would always go for that first. It's not the 5 of Spades, is it, Paul?
Yes, it was.
And it was. And if it was, he goes, oh my God. You can't believe the reaction. They're just thinking of this stuff and you're telling them what they are. Now, let's assume it goes wrong. All right? Believe me, if anyone lies to you or tells you it never goes wrong with think of a card, that's not the truth. I do think of a card 100 times a week and anything can happen. So let's just say I dribble again and I see what I see. Paul? Did you get one?
Yeah.
Now, he actually got the 6 of spades there, but let's say it wasn't.
Okay.
And I say, it's not the 6 of spades, is it, Paul?
No.
Ah, that's what I said, Paul. It's not the...
Oh, right. I see what you mean.
Oh, you're not very impressed now, are you? And that's the out there, because they go, no, I say, no, I told you it wasn't. And they go, oh, right. But it was a red card, wasn't it?
No.
And if he says no, I say on the backs. If he says yes, I say, I know, that's my job. So it makes no difference. They're just outs. They're alternative endings. So it was a red card, wasn't it, Paul?
No.
On the backs.
All right, yeah.
They're all red, Paul. It has to be red. You don't like the trick, do you?
No.
All right, I'll show you a miracle. And then I just tell him to name his card. For the first time, name the card you're thinking of.
Jack of clubs.
The Jack of... Now, what I'm doing here, if we can get a close-up, is I'm looking for the Jack of clubs. But I go past the Jack to whatever's next. In this instance, it's the 3 of clubs, but it wouldn't make no difference if it was the 5 of hearts. I just go past, I say, not the 5 of hearts.
No.
So now the Jack of clubs is here. And I cut them. That's it. I could cull them, do a flash move, but this is real world stuff. I don't do that. I just cut them. Now the Jack is on top. And I say, are you sure it was the Jack of clubs?
Yep.
I never get this trick wrong. I've been doing it 15 years. And as I do that, I just simply palm this card. Now, if you want to do a one-handed top palm, I'm going to get a good view here of this coming up. You can do this. If you want to do a two-handed palm, as long as this card ends up in this palm, we don't mind how it gets there. All right, I just palm the card. So as I say, it can't be the Jack of clubs, Paul.
Why?
Because there's a card I always keep in my pocket. It's unlucky for me. I never actually use it. Now, I either bring this out myself. It's great when you let them take it out. I say, oh, you reach in. Anything else in there, sir? Have a fish around? Nothing? Just one card, the Jack of clubs. Now, I must admit, you are going to have to just get used to this. It's not difficult. In fact, to be honest, it's almost self-working. You just dribble the cards. Whatever you can see is all they can see. They're not Superman. They can't see things you can't see, all right? Dribble them down, concentrate on what goes by, and I promise you, you'll get this very, very quickly. Try not to get into the habit of letting them fall in blocks, because then it's just not an effect. They just go, well, he's just looking at that one. I mean, it's obvious. So I just let them fall. There was a perfect Jack of spades, and that would have been 100%, okay? I hope you enjoy dribble. Give it a try, it's not that difficult, and I'm sure you'll be doing it very soon. Okay, we're now going to explain my floating finger ring. Doesn't do a lot of animation, doesn't float around the room, doesn't go through hoops, but I promise you it does get a great reaction. It literally just comes off your hand and back down again. To do this, you're going to need one of these little sorcery boss reels. Let's get a good close-up of this. This is a sorcery shop. I don't use any of the others. This is the best one. Okay, has a little piece of wax on this end, and it comes in and it comes out. And this is reeling back in with 2 rubber bands. Now, when I set this up to explain it to you using thread, we're not going to have that luxury, but you will be able to understand this. This is going to reel in, and in fact, if I do this for the cloth, you'll see what happens. It does this. How's that? Yeah, can you see that? This is reeling back in, all right? So that's exactly what's happening. I've got a little piece of wax in here. A great tip for you, what I like to do is, I put my thread around a piece of a cocktail stick or a toothpick, I wind it round, and then I put the wax. That means that it can't ever just pull out. If I break this, I break it, all right? It doesn't pull out of the thread, all right? So this is doing this and this. I am going to set this up as though I'm going to do it with this, but then I'm going to jump over to the elastic thread so you can see. You need to thread this. It's got a little crocodile clip, all right? Get ready now, girls. I know you're all screaming at home because the manly belly's going to come out. You need to undo a button on your shirt, all right? And all you're going to do is clip this in to the inside piece of your shirt, all right? Crocodile clip down and clip that on. So the thread comes out this side, okay? That's very important, because as you turn to borrow the ring, you need to be able to pick this up anytime you like, all right? The whole thing is now fastened inside. Make sure that the thread isn't hitting a button, okay? That's really important, because you need to be able to get that thread out of there. You need to be able to reach inside and pick this thread up, all right? So this is here, all right? And you would be reaching inside and pulling this out, all right, like so. That's exactly what you'll be doing, all right? Obviously this button would be fastened and the whole thing would be like this, all right? So you can just take this out. Now the setup for this, that's where the reel goes. This wax is going to go inside your ear, okay, in here, all right? Now the best way to put wax in your ear is to wet your finger, because the wax won't stick to this finger now, it'll just stick to the inside of your ear. So I take this and I push this inside this ear and push down, so it's now fastened in place inside your ear. You've now got a line going from your ear to the centre of your shirt. Here is the thread here. I can feel the thread now. There's the thread, okay? There's the thread. Now I know that's impossible to see at home, but this really is the thread just here, all right? Now all I'm going to do when I perform this, because we're going to take all this off in a second, well I'm going to leave it on actually, but we won't be using it, is all I do is as I turn around to speak to someone here, I turn around, I put my thumb inside the thread, so I've now got the thread here, okay, as I say, Paul, could you just put that ring on my finger? And he puts this onto my finger. Don't worry, we're going to do the whole thing with thread, you can see. The finger will then come underneath, all right, and once again it will all be done. And when this comes off now, it's now attached to this, okay? But we're going to do all that now with elastic thread so that you can clearly see this properly. So don't forget, it's going to run from your ear to here. So we're going to take this out like so, and we're going to use, and this is literally sewing elastic. And by the way, this is great to practice with. Obviously you couldn't do it like this because they can see, and I've got a huge block of wax because I want you to see everything. I've got a piece of sewing elastic, it's just elastic thread, and I've made it double just for the purposes so you can see at home, okay? And I've tied a knot in the bottom. I'm going to put this end down for now, and I'm going to just wrap this around this shirt button. All right, let's hope I can do this. I'm going to wrap this around this shirt button here. The boss reel is still inside, by the way. Going to go around. There we go, I've got it. And around and around and around. So that's just temporarily anchored on. And I'm not going to put this in my ear for now, I'm just going to put it over the top. Just so I can explain where everything is. This would be smaller and inside your ear. However, it just goes around the back. So that's how the thread looks. Now don't forget it's getting tight on the reel. It's really, so you haven't got all this saggy, baggy stuff. It would be much, much tighter. And this might not be the perfect length, alright? I might be a little bit close to me. If I am, I'll adjust it for you, or you can just go along with how it looks. So this is like this. Paul's got this ring, and I'm going to give it back to Paul just for a second, because I need to show you something that's important. As I say, I'd like to show you the famous, I don't want this to get caught on my buttons, because this would be tight. I'm going to show you the famous finger ring trick. I turn around, my thumb comes in the thread, and extends, as I say, Paul, place that on my middle finger. And he places the ring onto my middle finger. As I turn and say we're engaged, I'm going to put this finger underneath and pick up the thread. Okay, so now it looks like this. Let's get rid of this is doing nothing now, alright? It's not attached, I'll get rid of that. So I want you to have a clear focus. We've now got to take the ring off this finger without the thread coming off. Very easy, and I'll give you a great tip. If you try and do it like this, it's much harder. Hence the reason I always do it like this. I go from here, I take this and it comes off, and that stays on. Now what you've actually done is made the ring, let's see if we can just hold this here, the ring go through the thread in two places. Now here's the very, very clever thing you can do. I don't know how this will look with this elastic, I'm just trying to get the distance. If you turn it towards them, that's this way with your thumb, once, twice, it is actually now locked here with where my little finger is and where the thumb is. It is physically locked around in two places. Are we getting a real good view of that? We are? Good. Okay. And that will mean that if you just move your head backwards or your hand downwards, this will now stand up. Alright? You don't quite get the same animation without the thread, but you're going to see what happens. When you move this hand away, this will now obviously stay in the air because it's going around the finger, through the ring, tied around the ring twice. One end goes to your stomach and one end goes to your ear, so it will do this. Okay? That's what's actually going to happen. I hope we're getting a bit of a view of that at home. Try not to speak too much because that'll make this dance. Once it's off, I say, please concentrate, watch. Now, as soon as it goes back down again, you're going to turn it towards you. Once, twice, all right? You're going to bend this finger and the whole thing's going to shoot in and it'll go tight. It'll go and it'll go tight. And then you're just left holding the ring. So here it is one more time. I do apologise because it's not easy to do with this at all. I'm just trying the best. I tried it with cotton, but it didn't work with cotton at all. This is elastic thread, all right? Okay, and this is going behind this ear, up here. All right? So I pick this up as I go to Paul. Paul puts the ring onto this finger. This is going just around the thumb. I kick this around, so now it goes around here. I take this off, all right? Try not to let that come off, because if it comes off, you're done. You have to hook up again. Turn it once, twice. I do that as I just say, look, you can clearly see the ring. Make it stand up. Move your head away or your hand down. That'll make it float up. Come back down towards you once, twice. Unhooks everything. Take the ring, bend your finger. It's now completely unhooked. Not the easiest thing to describe, so I hope you kind of understand that, and that is the floating finger ring. Okay, what we've actually got here is a trick I obviously do at tables. Now, we've tried to make it look like a table when I would be performing either at a corporate gig or a restaurant, wherever you do your magic. We've just tried to make it look a little bit like that, all right? Obviously, I've got Paul and I've got Joe. I always use two people. And this is actually two tricks linked together to become one. All right. So the first thing we call a glance, because he's going to glance at a card and I'm going to name the card. And the second thing is called flying low, which in England is a a slang word for when your zip's down, all right? So I thought it was a pretty cool name. And the card is an ambitious card routine where the card ends up in your underpants. Apparently, it doesn't really. Quickly, I'm just going to speak about something before I do the actual trick, because you can't always do card in underpants. You have to pick the right people out and never do it for, obviously, where there's children or kids. Big corporate events, I tend to just make the card appear in a wallet instead or in a pocket. However, if I get gangs of guys, university dudes, gangs of girls love this trick. They think it's hilarious. In fact, they're funnier than you. They absolutely think it's hilarious. So that's kind of the ground rules for this trick. And here's exactly what happens. We're back to think of a card again. And I know I said this already, but it is one of my favourite things. And here's one of my favourite all-time think of a cards. Paul is a magician. Well, it's kind of a trades description act with Paul. He's been arrested twice.
I'm going in a minute.
But he's meant to be a magician. But he still does the same thing lay people do. But lay people do this a lot better. I give the person to my left the cards. And at the moment, we're just going to do this. Then we're going to explain it. And I say, shuffle them, mix them, whatever. And then I say, look through them and look at any card. Now, what happens with lay people is as they look, they slow down where they're looking. So they start to spread, and as they slow down, I know it's one of these, all right? It always is, every time. As I see them slow down, I take a glance, hence the name. As I say to Joe, Joe, we're going to show you a miracle, or I introduce myself to Joe or whatever, but I make sure I'm looking away. The timing for this looks like this. Paul, look at any card at all. Do it in real motion. Right. Look at any one at all. Have you got one?
Yeah.
It's it's not the 8 of clubs, is it?
Yeah, it was.
All right. Now, if you just turn an angle slightly to the camera, it's kind of 3 beats. They kind of spread and never look. Then they kind of spread again, and then they start to think about looking. All right? So as this is closed, do it in real time. It's there, 1, 2, I look away, and I say, it's not the Jack of Diamonds, is it? Now, the camera at home should be getting quite a pause on there. Lay people actually do this, I swear. It's so funny. They go, yeah, I've got one. I mean, it's like the world's easiest magic trick. And as they just break there, I just look. But I think it's your brain just tells you to slow down and to concentrate for a second and figure out what you're doing. So you kind of do this. But it's important, as he's getting there, I'm still giving the instruction, you're going to look at one. As he looks at one, I'm turning towards Joe to say, Joe, I'm going to show you my favourite trick. All we need to do is, and then I name what the card is. I don't even know if you did it there, but he would do it one more time for me. Okay. So he runs through. I see him running through. I get the 9 of spades. I say, Joe, we're going to show you an absolute... Yeah. You haven't looked yet, have you, sir? Yeah. No, you've got to wait while I'm looking, otherwise I'll never find it.
Right, I've got one.
I'll take a wild guess. It's not the 9 of spades, is it? And that's all what it is. But it works so good. Don't forget, there's always an out. If they say, no, it's not, you just do an out. Like we did in the first trick. The other think of a card trick we did on here. And he'll say, no, it's not. And I'll just do an out, and I'll cut the card to the top, and I'll make it appear in this pocket. So you can always do an out, no problem at all. But let's just say Paul's got the... Doesn't matter. Let's have a 5. 5 of diamonds. I like the 5, so we'll have that. He passes that over to Joe.
There you go, Joe.
And now she's involved. You don't just want to do magic for him. You want everybody to be involved. If there was more people here, I'd be asking names, doing a couple of gags here, making a funny line. But obviously we're doing this just for the camera. Joe signs her card, and we will sign it again. I normally do a couple of gags here, dyslexic gags, or don't write on the napkin, or whatever it may be. She gives me the pen back. While she's doing that, I always say, I know it sounds really weird, you need to turn these 2 cards over. And I always say, I'll look away, I've seen this trick before. Which doesn't make any sense, because you can see what the card is. But they always laugh. So I say, I'll look away, I've seen this before. And what I'm really doing is turning these 2 over. All right? If you wish, you could have just turned them over while she's signing the card, but you have to end up with 2 cards this way, all right? I keep these slightly shielded towards me, and I take Joe's card, I give it a little flick, and I put it face up on top of these 2. So what we've actually got is a triple now with a small break. Got a triple, all right? I flick these 3 over, all right? All 3, as I say, Joe, I'm going to show you a miracle with your card. I'm not over keen on the word ambitious, really. It's more ambitious than the others. I kind of just do it as a trick, all right? I take what she thinks is her card, and I place it down near the bottom. This is any card. Okay? Goes in. And I say, sometimes your card will leap out of the deck, do 3 somersaults, Joe, and land in my underpants. At this point, they always laugh and they go, yeah, as if it's going to be in his underpants. I mean, it's just stupid. But what I'm kind of doing is putting that in your mind because I'm going to recall it later on. All right? And as I say, it's in my underpants. I say, reach in, take as long as you like, and everybody's laughing and thinking, man, this guy's just nuts. I say, but not today, just jump to the top, and I do a very simple double. This is just a double. It's not a triple because we got rid of the first card into the middle. I show Joe her card as a double, and I say, sometimes I put the card nearer the top, but it doesn't jump always to the top. Sometimes it jumps into my mouth, and I'm setting that up again. All right? But not today, it just decided to jump to the top. Okay, so nothing, I've just done ambitious card twice really. That's all I've done is make it come to the top. I go away from Joe and give Paul the card. As I do that, I get a break under the bottom card. All right, this one here, what have we got? The 4 of clubs. And I do that by saying I could let you put the card in anywhere. As he goes to do that, I move them away and I've still got the little break. And this is the Charlie Miller add-on again for the card in mouth. Alright, so I've got the break here, the card goes on, I push this forward using this centre finger and the thumb hits the back, aligning everything up. I've now added this card onto Joe's 5 of diamonds. I tell him even if I let him push this in himself, it'll always jump back to the top, and I point here because I want them to focus here. They think this is going to be Joe's card. Really, Joe's card is here. He pushes the card in. They're concentrating here. I've already got the card in the mouth. I say, watch as it jumps to the top. It can't jump to the top, obviously, because it's in your mouth, obviously. I then say, sometimes it doesn't jump to the top, but it does actually, like I promised, jump into my mouth. And I put the single, I don't do a top change here, I put the single on top. Now, usually, not always, but I'm hoping they're starting to fill in the pieces. And they go, oh man, this is going to be in his underpants. I actually sometimes look at the faces and I can spot the couple who are going, this is going to be in his underpants. I know it is, because it's kind of, I've laid the foundation already. I'm now going to apparently put this card into the centre. What I'm going to really do is Jerry Sadowitz's slip jog control. Yeah? From Cards Hit, his book. It was a reprint, really good. It was reprinted in there, sorry, not a reprint. I think it was first in a Tucker thing. Really, really good. This goes on top. You cut off any amount, and you apparently take this card into the middle, but you're going to take the 8 of spades instead, using these 2 fingers. And it should look just like you're taking this card. But you're not really. This card doesn't move at all. Okay? So I cut them. Thumb. Make sure your thumb goes across, because you want to get the animation of the card coming off. All right? But really you're taking the bottom card, you're doing this. Alright, so you do this. As I say, I'll do this one last time. It goes in. And I usually like to show it not on the top, even though it is on the top, so I usually do a double. But you don't have to there, you could just say the card vanishes from the deck and appears in your pants. I usually do a double then, say, look, it's really not on top. That's because I did promise you there's one card inside my underpants. And all I'm going to do now is, I say to Joe, reach in there. I often do this behind them. I literally go out of view, I say, reach in, take as long as you like, everybody laughs. And I top palm this card again. This card is now top palmed. One-handed. It is kind of important there, but you could do 2 hands again. Alright, but I kind of do this one-handed. This first finger and thumb are going to pull down your fly. These 2 fingers. And these fingers are going to kind of keep all the card in position. You pull down your fly, you reach inside. Obviously you're not in your underpants, you're not even nowhere near. You just pull out the card, pull back up your fly, don't forget, it's important. Alright, turn this over and it's Joe's card. I always give them this as a souvenir, and it gets one of the biggest laughs. I say a souvenir, and they normally go to get it and then realise it's been in your underpants. So as they go, oh no, and gets another big laugh, and I say, I don't know, what's the matter with you, girl? It's only been in my underpants, you know. Throw the card down. Very, very nice. Good 4 or 5 minutes. Easy to do, really, other than the top palm. There's nothing. It's pretty straightforward magic. Can do this in one night's practice. I've been doing this trick forever, really. It gets a great reaction. Great for tables. It involves all the people and good fun. I hope you like these two tricks that I combine together. Okay, we're going to explain the pop-out transpo. Great little trick. It's only a quickie, but don't overlook it. It gets a really good reaction from, obviously, lay people. Really like this trick a lot. You need a regular deck of cards. I'm going to teach you the move at the end. I'm going to get you to there first, if that makes sense. So you're going to do the whole routine, get to the end, and then we'll talk about my little pop-out move. Any two cards are selected or named. I do this at tables as well as walk round, and I do it on top of wine glasses. We'll talk about that a little as well. So let's just say we'll get two opposite cards. Let's say we've got a 2 and a jack. It makes no difference at all. I usually get someone here and someone here, so because of the way I'm going to put them back, and then it makes sense. So this, notice they're not signed. You can't do signed because the names would change places, and that would be wrong. I'll explain that as well. So Paul's taken his 2, and Jo has got her jack. All right, so jack of clubs, and I've got a 2 of diamonds. All right, they look at the cards, they show them around, all the usual gags, bits of business. I cut the cards anywhere, and the 2 goes here, and I'm going to do a double undercut. Dead simple. I'm not going to go on and on and on how to get a card to the top, because I expect nearly everybody to be able to get a card to the top. But for those who can, I will explain it. I do a double undercut. The card is here. I hold a little finger break here. All right, I'm coming round on an angle, so we're getting a nice shot. You cut into these bottom cards with your thumb, anywhere, and you bring everything around. So the card is now on top. One more time, it goes in, you cut anywhere, in the bottom section, and again, and the cards comes to the top. If you can do a pass, if you can do a shift, that's fine. This card has to end up on top of the deck. You now cut the cards again, and Joe's card, who stood here, the jack, goes on top of Paul's card, the 2. So they're actually together. And I double cut them again, cut them around. There's the 2 cards, and so they're back. So if we do them face up, that's the card. Joe's card goes on top. I cut them once, twice, so the cards are now back in the exact same position, all right? So this card went on first, Paul, Joe's went on second. All right, we now say we're going to find the cards. That's my job. I'm the magician. That's what I do. I do a very simple double lift, and I pick up 2. So I'm just picking up 2 here at the back. Again, whatever lift you want to do, if you want to do a strike, that's fine. If you want to do a squeeze, if you want to do the dingle, whatever you like to do, all right? I'm just very simply picking up 2 and turning them over and showing the 2 of diamonds. Don't forget this is a double lift. I kind of show the card to Paul because I know it's Paul's card, all right? But I don't give him chance to say, yep, you found mine, or wow, or anything. I just kind of show it, but immediately place it over near Joe or on top of a wine glass to the other person, because this really is their card because we did a double, okay? So that whole thing is double, show it, flip it, but put it here, all right? That's important because I want Paul, and they usually do, to say that's not my card. I even get the odd person say, I bet you don't find my card, or there's no way you're going to, because they think it's here, but really it's on top of the deck. All right? We now do a very simple overhand shuffle. We shuffle this one to the bottom. Literally, it's the oldest. You just pull this one off and shuffle everything else. So the card's on the bottom. If you can't do that, you may need a new hobby. All right, this is pretty straightforward. All right, we're just shuffling the card from the top and round here and down. So now it's on the bottom. The reason I want it on the bottom is I'm now going to do the pop-out move. There's been lots and lots of pop-out moves. Most famous, obviously, is Pete Fortin, the Swiss magician, who first came up with the pop-out. This is just my handling and the way I do it. I cut off roughly half. Doesn't have to be bang on. And I take these into this hand. The card is still here. And I put them together, and then I lift up these in like a biddle grip, but the fingers are really over quite a long way. And I'm going to do almost a Kelly bottom replacement. The Kelly bottom replacement is when you peel this card off and put it to the bottom. Kelly bottom replacement move. But I'm not going to do that. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to flick this out. I'm going to come this way because you'll get a good shot then. I'm going to flick this so it's doing this. let's just put Paul's card there for a second. I'm doing that. And it'll stick just to your fingers. Push quite hard with these fingers, and it's almost sticking to your fingers. Alright? Try and keep this card square so it looks like that. That's what it should look like. Don't worry, I know it doesn't look like anything at the moment, but that's what you're trying to achieve. Gravity almost takes it across. Okay, that's it there, look. Perfect. Okay. Now, all these are obviously on here. This is now shuffled to the bottom. I cut off any amount. Now, this is pretty hard to do slow, but as I do this, alright, this first finger is going to extend out and push up and catch the card. Alright? So it's going to end up trapped in between these two fingers at this point. Impossible to do slow. Alright? So it's going to do this. So from this angle, it's going to do this. I can't do it any slower than this because it won't work. This is super slow as you can do this. Alright? You're doing this. And when you put a little bit of speed on there, it just looks like it just pops out. Alright? Again, you cut the cards. His card would be here. This would be the 2. So let's put this back here. Alright? Doesn't really matter how many you've got here neither. Alright? It's not going to help you or aid or be against you. Alright? Because you're not really bending them or anything. You're just kellying. So you're kellying this card and then you're just doing popping out. Alright? So one more time. This is out and this does this. So now his card is here. I let him take this card from there. I put all these on top, and obviously now Joe's card has changed places and is now over here. I hope that kind of makes sense. The pop out move is pretty straightforward really. Just squeeze, let it come over with the friction, and they end up right out here on these two fingers. And that is the pop out transposition. Okay, I'm going to explain now the put and take transpo. Not the easiest trick on these DVDs, I admit. There's a couple of little technical things you need to learn here. I do this trick a lot and it gets a smashing reaction. People really like it a lot. It's got some really good strengths. First of all, you do not need any duplicates. I like a transposition where you don't need anything except what they ask for. There's no force. They name any cards. And even though they're both signed, they both appear to change places. That's a lot of great strengths, alright? So here's the actual routine. I say to Paul, or two people obviously, in a real world situation, name any two cards. We never set anything up on these DVDs. This is all genuine. Paul just does what he thinks is the right thing to do. He named two cards. I ran through. I took out the 2 and the ace, and I asked him to write anything on here. Now, obviously, it would be two different people. So this would say Paul and this would say Angie. By the way, Angie really is his wife. All right, so he's written two people on here. Simple as that. We're now going to get ready to do the whole effect. And as we're explaining the effect, we're actually doing the effect, which sounds kind of weird, but I'll explain what I mean. I say to Paul, which one of these cards would you like me to put in my pocket? There's nothing in the pocket, by the way, but you are going to need a pocket either in a shirt, a vest or a waistcoat, whichever you prefer to call it, for my American friends, or your jacket. You're going to need a top pocket because you're going to do my put and take move, which was featured on my original DVDs, Real World Magic. However, this trick wasn't. This is a totally different trick. Let's say Paul says he wants the 2 to go in the pocket. Hold the deck face down, pick the card up so it's facing him. Okay, I'm going to just turn to a nice close-up shot here. And you're going to put this in your pocket, genuinely, in there. However, something else is going to happen at the same time. You're going to open up this pocket with your thumb and put the card in. And as you do that, your thumb is going to come around the back and take the card back out. I'm going to do this straight onto the camera. Look in, thumb around the back, take the card back out. It's now here. It appears to be in this pocket. However, it's not in the pocket. Here's one for the close-up camera. Cradle the deck, open up the pocket, place the card in, look up. As you look up, your thumb comes around the back and takes the card out. Try not to get any noise. You don't want it to do this. Alright? And you also don't want to do this. It looks like you're lifting something out of your pocket. So just look in, soft and out. The card is now on top of the deck. They think the card is in this pocket. I pick up this card and I gesture. Now if there's a wine glass, sometimes I'll say, do you want the card to go under the wine glass? That gives me a reason to put this card down, okay? Or would you like to hold out your hand? Again, it gives me a reason to put Angie down. Don't forget there's nothing in the pocket. Paul is really on top and Angie goes here. You're now going to do, and I know you're all going to panic, a kind of second deal switch. It's not that hard. You're not trying to do a second deal to deceive where you have to be perfect. Just rock the hands towards you. It's almost a bad second deal. And you're going to pull this card back and take this card out, the second card. So this is on the table, this is in the pocket. I say, would you like Angie to go under the wine glass? I rock this back and I put this card down. It looks like you've put Angie on the table, however, Paul is on the table. They think Paul is in this pocket. I have a bit of a strange thing I have a habit of doing. I spread the cards over as I riffle them down, and what this helps with the one-handed top palm. It takes, if they're not a square, it's a lot easier. I'm going to do a one-handed top palm. This finger is going to pivot this card into top palm. So what's actually happening is this finger is straightening out, alright, and levering this card up into top palm. Try not to let it flash out here. Yes, that's important, alright. So if you bevel the cards a fraction, you'll find it lifts up much easier. Alright, so the card is now in top palm. This is done, as I say. The card is going to go from here up to here, and as I look up here, I top palm this card. Alright. To your pocket and feed this in behind your fingers with your thumb. Just feed it in. As it's halfway in, I'm going to literally make it look like it's on its way out again. That sounds a bit strange, but as I put this in, I kind of pull it back up again like it was always coming out. Over here now is the ace, and on the table is Paul. 2 signed cards with no extras, no duplicates, change places. This is going to take you a little while to get right, but well worth the effort. It's called the Put and Take Transpo.